Don't be like me. Okay, let's do the math. It is 1:19 on Sunday, so it's Sunday afternoon. I have to be done with all of the things that I need to do by Wednesday at 5 p.m. So that leaves me this afternoon, Monday until like 4 p.m. because I need to eat before I get on stream, and I stream on Monday nights. Then I have all day Tuesday and Wednesday until 5 p.m. to get everything done. What are you doing, Hannah, that is gonna fill all of this time? I hear you ask. Don't worry, I will tell you. I'm making myself a dress. I'm not worried about this dress. I'm making 2 shirts, one for me and one for Nonsense. Kind of slightly worried about this. I'm losing pattern pieces. I have to make my clothespins for, there's this thing that traditionally happens apparently at Texas Renaissance Festival where you sneak a clothespin onto somebody's clothes. It's a game of assassination, but it's also like a compliment, like you liked their vibe, their outfit, something like that. So I'm going to paint all of these pink with my airbrush. And I'm going to put the little YouTube symbol and Hanabi Craft on them with vinyl. I have to make trinkets. It's just split rings, basically. So yeah, in all of this, I have to get everything packed because we are packing the car Wednesday night. Make sure all of the things are charged before I pack all my stuff because I'm going to have to pack all of the chargers to go with that. Film, edit, and upload 2 to 3 videos. Not only am I going to speed run projects, but I'm also going to make a couple of videos in the mix. So here's my plan. Today, I'm going to get everything cut out and I'm going to film my videos. Tomorrow, which is Monday, I'm going to edit my videos. And anytime that I have after editing the videos, I'm going to do some sewing. Tuesday, I will finish all of the sewing and I will start with the clothespins. These trinkets I could theoretically just bring with me and do them on the road trip or while we're there at the camping. So that's the rough plan. Wednesday basically is a catch-up day. I'm gonna try really hard not to stress about any of this. But yeah, this is my life for the next week, and I only have myself to blame because I knew that we were doing this right after the Minnesota Renaissance Festival. Like, I didn't know we were doing it, but I knew that it was a possibility, and I didn't prepare. I don't really have a whole lot of time to chit-chat, so I'm just gonna get down to business to defeat my Huns and get my projects doing. With linen, I find if you spray a little water on it, it helps with the wrinkles. Let's go dancing in the city lights. Yes, I do just use a white gel pen when I'm marking on black fabric. Well, clever girl has lost her pieces. Clever girl was actually clever. And she put her pieces with the fabric they're supposed to be cut out of. No hesitating. We gotta move, we gotta shake, we gotta get up on our feet and liberate it. You feel like something's out of control. Your mind says yes and your body says oh, let's go, oh, oh, oh. Let's go. The sky is lit and it's gonna be a good night. What's mine is yours if it makes you feel alright. Your body flow. So let's go. No hesitating. We gotta move, we gotta shake, we gotta get up on our feet and liberate it. You feel like something's out of control. My very scientific measuring. And 14. both of the cuffs together, put them out doubled, and have one that's interfaced one that's not interfaced.
Something's out of control. Your mind says yes and your body says oh, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
It's Tuesday, so today is sewing day. I did get both of my videos recorded, edited, and uploaded yesterday, and also streamed. So I did do that. I had trouble sleeping though, so I did not get up early. So when I got up and became human after having my coffee, the dog was very adamant that he wanted his walk. So I took him on his walk, and now I'm all like sweaty and gross, but I gotta get this done. So I'm gonna work on this. I need to find the feet that I need for my machine. I have everything kind of sort of set out. I have to finish the edges on this flounce, finish the front edges of this bodice, and then all of this is gathering stuff. And then I have my stages set out. I will need my invisible zipper foot. I will need my buttonholer foot. I have so many feet. I need my tiny hem foot. Where'd you go? Boarding, edging, quilting, zipper. Not even sure what that one is. Not sure what that one is. That's a button foot. That might come in handy. None of these. Obviously, I have used it and put it aside. Haha! Found it. Also, zipper foot. So, in total, like 6 feet for these 3 projects, which is really one project and another project duplicated. So I'm going to begin with my tiny hem foot. All the rest of these are going to live up here, or I can get them. And I guess that I'll do a time lapse.
Gonna rise up, gonna get going. Take this day by storm. Gonna wake up in a new light. Next day, do it some more. Damn, wake up in the morning and we're good to go. Gonna get some hustle till done. Next day, do an encore.
I have a flounce done. One flounce done. I forgot how much that tiny rolled hem foot is a beast on curved edges. Looks great now that it's done, but it's a little bit slow going. I think this is going to be the worst hill that I have to surmount of all of these things, except for trying to record the process. Ha ha ha! Okay, one flounce down, another one to go.
Trying to hold us down. Can't stand us, so she sound. Don't realize we can't be bound. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Do the party till you can't be turned. Do the bad, cause you really play my.
So I've got both of the flounces done, and that took an inordinately long amount of time. So I just have to, like, go fast. Gotta go fast. Gotta be sanic. I also did spill my water over, like, everything. So I'm a little bit stressed out And I just need to slow down so I can go fast, because slow is pro. The instructions for this dress want me to sew the front of this together, and I'm not gonna.
I'm a loner, Dottie. A rebel.
I'm going to finish the edge all the way down, and then once I put it on, if I need brain. This is what happens when you don't get enough sleep. If I need to, I will hand sew the front together. But for now, I'm just going to finish the front edge, then gather all the things that need to be gathered, and then I can start piecing things together. Once I get to the part where I'm sewing things together, I think it'll go a lot faster. I can just cheat and use the other layer as a guide. Do a little pressing with a fingernail. Works really well on linen. So I'm gonna sew down this, and I'll gather from here to here. This is the back of the pirate shirt, so that needs to be gathered along here between these two marks, only one of which is marked. Okay, so sometimes the pattern contains information that the instructions don't. Hem 5/8, seam 3/8. That's what we're looking for. You don't mark that, you're gonna have to pull the pattern piece right back out. Mark our 3/8.
Something good. I think we're onto something good. Don't let it get away. This could be everything. You know. No.
And this is why we go slow, because slow is pro. And when you go fast, you have to redo things. We don't like to redo things. So go slow, even if you're on a time crunch. Look, I don't even know what time it is. I got plenty of time. It's 2:19. I got plenty of time. Plenty of time. Not really. I have two sleeves for the dress. I have ruffles attached to fronts of the shirt. I have an edge pressed down on the placket of the shirt. I have the bodice fronts attached to the backs. I need to finish the front edges of the shirts. One with the side that's ginormous. It's gonna fold down twice, I think, like that. Pow. Then this one is gonna get attached here. So I did all of my markings. in friction ink. Alright, so I have to find my placket again so that I can remark it because all of my markings are gone now. It's okay because I think I pressed the wrong side down according to my markings, but that's all right. We're gonna sew this placket to this side of the shirt, and then it's gonna get flipped and turned around, and it'll be very pretty. A lot of very invisible work, but that's okay. That's what we're doing this for. This is the back. I have to locate the back yoke pieces for the shirt, and this gets gathered and sandwiched between those. I'm gonna have to fish out the whatchamadoodly pattern piece, the placket, that's the word, because I ironed this and completely forgot that all of my markings were in friction ink that disappears when you iron it. Fold right front, but this is the left front now because I don't know my right from my left, and that's okay. Along fold line for interfacing. Turn front to outside again. All right, so this is now going to be the front with a little flouncy flounce. So I will sew this and then press it open and over, and then I'll sew both of the fronts. Now I need to look at it because I'm afraid that this is going to be another edge that doesn't, it's not the basic 5/8 of an inch. I have a feeling. Could be bunnies. Bunnies aren't just cute like everybody supposes. Where is the placket? Where is the piece for the placket? Cuff, 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 plackets, plackets. It would be easier if I just put it in a filing thing, but they're over there and I'm lazy. 3/8 of an inch. I was right. Seam, 3/8 of an inch. Again, I apologize for being in my workout clothes while I do this, but y'all just gonna have to deal. Gonna get it done. Yay! I have fronts. 2 shirt fronts. Piratey bosoms is the goal. Alright, this is back. Haha! The back.
They always tryna hold us down. Can't silence it, so she sound. Don't realize we can't be bound. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Woo! To the heights that we can't be tamed. To be fair, could you really blame us? So obvious why we famous. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Gonna rise up, gonna get going. Take this day by storm. Gonna wake up in a new light. Next day do some more. Damn, wake up in the morning and we're good to go. Gonna get some hustle till done. Next day doing encore. Next day doing encore.
So, haha, funny. So, I have the body of a shirt, which is great, but it's like 5:30. So I don't know if I'm going to get all this done tonight. I hope I will, so that I can just do trinkets tomorrow. But I'm not going to push myself because I didn't sleep very well last night. So if I have to do a bunch of sewing tomorrow and just apply vinyl to clothespins on the 13-hour drive down to Texas, then I'll do that. I still have the sleeves of the shirt to do, which shouldn't be too hard. I do need to apply this continuous lap to this slash, and then there's a cuff that goes on, and a lot of gathering, but it's just setting a sleeve in. The buttons concern me, but I'll figure it out. The dress I'm not too perturbed about because when I made the mock-up, it went together really, really quickly once I like had all the pieces together. So I'm not scared of the dress at all. The only thing I have of concern of the dress is maybe hemming it. It's the front of the bodice that's fiddly on the dress, and that's why I left it separate and not sewed together this time, because that point becomes really hard to pivot and keep the gathers in the bust. So I'm just going to do them separate, and then if I need to have less cleavage, I will just hand stitch the front together. But it's RenFaire, so I don't know that anyone is ever gonna say have less cleavage at the RenFaire. I do need to charge some things soon. My stuff is running out of battery, so just like me. Okay, I got at least another hour in me. I can do this. I can do this.
Something good. I think we're onto something good. Don't let it get away. This could be everything. You know I gotta say, I think we're onto something good. I think we're onto something good. Something good. I think we're onto something good. Don't let it get away. This could be everything. You know I gotta say, I think we're onto something good. I think we're onto something good.
I have two sleeves ready to be attached to the shirt and accept cuffs. I am going to switch gears and quickly throw the dress together, I guess, and leave the collar finishing for tomorrow. I'm almost toast. I'm like French toast at this point. But I will make it through. I will survive. I will have a dress. I don't know. It's 6:37 now. I don't know if Nonsense will have a shirt for this event. He'll have a shirt eventually, just maybe not in this speed running. I'm gonna not record the smashing of the dress together. Probably, I don't know. My brain is gone. I need to do this dress, and then I'm gonna reward myself with a big bowl of Greek yogurt and frozen berries. Tomorrow is the last day, and I have to make sure that all of the footage is off of every camera before I go to bed, because we have to wake up at like 2:30, 3 in the morning to get out on the road. So I'll probably have some hand sewing to do in the car, at the campground, something like that, and I'll probably have trinkets to do. But if I can get everything up to hand sewing level and get my clothespins painted and my vinyl cut by tomorrow afternoon, I'll be good.
One eternity later.
I need to do a little hand sewing here on the dress on the front. Obviously, I knew that was going to be a thing. I need still to do the gathered cuffs, the neckline, and the zipper, and the hem, and that's it for the dress. For the shirt, we have to attach sleeves, attach cuffs, and then figure out the button situation. But that's a problem for tomorrow me, because I am toast. I'm done. I'm gonna go take a hot soak and eat something, and hopefully get some sleep tonight. It is Wednesday. It's 9 a.m. I slept much better last night. I'm on my third cup of coffee. Don't worry, it's decaf. Collar is on. Cuff is ready to be sewn. We're going to do that. Attach the sleeves. Then I'm going to change over to the dress. I have until maybe 4 p.m. to get all of this done, because I still have to pack. I still have to find my clothes to pack. I still have to wash clothes that need to be dried. I'm not super concerned about setting the sleeves in, because I love setting a sleeve in the round. I'm procrastinating on these buttonholes. I don't even know what buttons I'm going to use yet. I don't even know if I have enough buttons. We'll see. If not, we can always like stop at a Joann on the way down, or I can safety pin it, worst case scenario. I don't think anybody is going to be mad at me for safety pinning my cuffs, and my bodice will hold the top of it closed. So worst case, I don't do any buttonholes and it'll be fine, and I can just do buttonholes later. Time to get this cuffed. Get my heart over here so I can get my pins. And I hear you, Hannah, why did you hand sew the collar if you are tight on time? I understand why you asked the question. Because why wouldn't I use the most time economical way and do it on the machine? The problem is that I wouldn't have liked it. It would have been fiddly, it would have been unpleasant, and I wouldn't have liked the outcome. So I did it by hand because I was more sure that I would like the outcome. Small price to pay. I have time. I have time. Now I will sew this down by hand and then top stitch all around the edge of the cuff. I'm not real fond of the way the top stitch looks, but it'll keep it from bubbling and stuff when it gets washed and dried. Yes, sir? I fed you. Did I not sit with you enough? I didn't sit with you enough? I have to give you more attention? You want treats? Come on. Come on. Let's go get you some. Oh, come here then. Oh. You just need to be in my arms. Okay, Purr-duction manager. Thank you very much. I will get you some treats. My Purr-duction manager is very diligent about trying to make me take breaks. I don't know why we lost the art of wearing thimbles. I mean, probably because we lost the art of sewing our own clothes and stuff. So I've decided that I'm a wizard because in terms of D&D, sorcerers just like spontaneously are magical, and warlocks get their magic from their patron. Wizards, they study for a long time. They study magical theory and practice and work really hard at learning how to do magic. And people have called the sewing of clothing magic. Like when I tell people I made it myself, they're blown away. Especially when I show them that it has pockets. But I'm not a sorcerer. I didn't learn how to do this overnight. It doesn't come naturally to me. It's the product of years and years and years of study, trial and error. I am not completely, I am mostly self-taught. By the time I got my first theater sewing job, everything I knew was because I had trial and errored it. So much easier to like learn a thing if you have a teacher and can take lessons. You have like a specific series of projects that you can do that will teach you foundational skills and build upon them in a natural way, as opposed to just plucking up a pattern and deciding to sew your own prom dress. And, it looks beautiful from the outside, but the inside is a hot mess. Like, there are things that you learn from making your own clothes and wearing them. The reason why I now wait to serge my seams until after the seam is sewn is because on a lot of the dresses where I serged the edges, sorry, my hair is touching me. A lot of the things that I have like serged the edges and then sewn them together, the seams just flop around inside because I didn't sew them down. So I didn't want lines of stitching. Yes, sir. But they're like, I've got 5/8 inch of fabric on either side of a seam that's pressed open, that if I don't then press that after I wash it, it looks kind of, So now I just sew my seam and then I serge it so that I have, just the serger edge, like most commercially made things. I think I've got a knot right next to my needle. I don't do it because it looks like it's commercially made. I do it because it just handles better in the wash in a easier care manner. I really want to get a drying line for my backyard. The dryer is really rough on clothing. Washers are too, but the dryer more so. So if you want your clothes to last, you should hang or lay flat to dry as a general rule. Sometimes I will do just like a very short tumble in the dryer if I have laid something flat. The time that you really want to pay attention to that is when you're working with wool. If your wool's not superwash, heat and friction will full it or felt it, whichever word you want to use. Fulling is when it has been made into fabric and then felted Felting is when it is just wool that is then turned into practice by felting it. In practice, they are slightly different. In reality, it's not different enough that anybody in the modern day would care. Unless you're finicky about the words. Which, if you are, that's okay. I give you permission. If it brings you joy, you can be finicky about the words. I have just found that it's easier to not have those arguments. Like, I don't want to die on the hill of is it a corset or is it stays. Really and truly, the line between the two is extremely fuzzy, and, you know, I bet you can't give me a definition of stays that a corset also doesn't fit. We just generally use corset to refer to anything Victorian or later, and stays to refer to anything before Victorian. And like there's of course the fuzzy line there, the 1830s, the transitional stays where we were going from Regency Empire into Victorian, where like you don't get a lot of reduction, but there is still some reduction. That's typically the thing that most people say is if it reduces, it's a corset. If it just is structural and foundation and gives you no reduction, then it stays. But that alone, like, most people didn't actually use reduction. They laced comfortably, and if they had reduction, it was small. It wasn't like most people were tight lacing 4 inches down every day. That's maybe for a fashionable event, but not for sitting around at home doing your homebody things, writing your letters. The people who wanted to tight laced, yeah, but still, the amount of reduction in a corset, especially in like Edwardian corsets, where really and truly it's not about reducing the waist, it's about enlarging the hips. It's about padding both at bust and at hips. And the Edwardian corsets basically don't support the bust at all. They do very little to support and lift. The fit at the waist is looser and they don't oomph the girlies up, you know? So, like, arguing about what the definition of a specific word is, I think is, you know, in and of itself, it's a little pedantic. And I don't want to do that anymore. If you get your kicks out of that, more power to you. You can argue all day long as it brings you joy. If you're frustrated by it, it's not really that important. It really, really isn't. And now, top stitching. A sleeve with a cuff. $10. I'm going to take a short break. I went ahead and put one sleeve on off camera. Gonna get the other sleeve on now. My laundry is in the dryer now, so less anxiety about that. We're gonna put the other sleeve on together, and then I'll work on getting the dress finished up to the point where it's just the hem that I need to do for that. So, putting a sleeve in the round is my favorite way to put a sleeve in. Didn't used to be my favorite way to put a sleeve in, but since I grokked the communication of the symbols, it's become so much easier. So when I say always, please understand that there may be a point in time where there is an exception to that rule. I say this with that caveat. We're always going to match up our underarm seams. And then the notches, if you can see, there will be a single notch on one side and there will be a double notch on the other side. Those correspond to front and back. Single notch is always the front, double notch, always the back. Right sides together, match the notches as close as you can. And then we have 3 dots on the sleeves. Boop, 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 right where the gathers are. These mark the gathering beginning point, the gathering end point, and the tip of the shoulders, the very top of the shoulder, which is usually a seam. So we match that dot with the shoulder seam, and then the underarm is smooth. Just got to make sure that I match that dot with the shoulder seam and not the bottom of the back yoke. Give ourselves the room to actually put the sleeve in. All right, so then it all just gets matched up smooth up until that first dot. All of this just is as is until we hit that dot. Same side, same thing. Just match that up smooth. Throw the pin in where the dot is. I like to then find my halfway points and pin those together. I just find it makes the easing process easier. So then we're gonna find our ends for our gathering stitches and gather it. I like to over gather and then tug on it until the shirt part is not wrinkled up anymore, and then stroke the gathers. You can use a pin to do this. I'm using my fingernail. If you get some little pleating going on, you can pull the pin out and fix that. We want it to be eased in. This sleeve is quite voluminous, so there is going to be some pleating at the shoulder. If you can see that, there is some pleating in the gathering. For a more fitted sleeve, you want it to look like it's smooth. But this one is okay if there is some pleating in the gathering. All right, next, I'm gonna sew this with the machine. I like to sew with my gathers down so that my feed dogs can help ease that in. It's just practice I have of wherever I can, I put the bigger piece of cloth on the bottom and the smaller piece of cloth on the top so that the feed dogs just help move everything along. I always like to start at the underarm portion of the sleeve. Got my machine set up for a 5/8 inch stitch. Ow, we don't stab ourselves, but we do sew. Take the pins out before you get to them. If you need a video to tell you why not to sew over pins, I have a video that tells you why not to sew over pins. In short, you could hurt your machine and you could hurt yourself. It's not fear-mongering. I've thrown off my timing belt before. I feel like it's, do you remember back in time when, like, seatbelts weren't the law? And, like, there were a bunch of people who were like, buckle your seatbelt. And then there were some people who were like, no, it's safer if you don't buckle your seatbelt and you get thrown clear of the vehicle. I think this is one of those situations. Don't sew over your pens is buckle your seatbelt. Buckle your seatbelt. Don't sew over your pens. Doesn't take that much time to just stop and remove them. Find it helps if I rotate the whole shirt as we're going around the circle. And then just make sure that the edges are at least sort of kind of aligned. There's a little bit of leeway. If you want to be a little slapdash, it's okay. Not too much leeway. All right. Sleeve is sewn, but now we finish the seam. You could trim this and overcast it on your sewing machine. You could bind it with bias binding. I am lazy, so I'm just going to run it through my serger, which is older than my child. If you don't have a serger and you have a friend who has a serger, just ask them if you could come over and serge a bunch of things. Serging goes a lot faster than sewing does. When you're serging something that is a circle, when you get to the end, just fold your cloth out of the way. And it'll go right off the edge. Like so. And then you could bury that. Don't ask me how I decide what shortcuts I'm taking and what shortcuts I'm not taking. It's all very arbitrary. Then we're gonna press, but before we press, we're gonna remove the gathering stitches. Just like that. And then I like to press the excess toward the body. And if I were not lazy, I might top stitch all the way around to hold that serge part down. But I'm not going to do that. There we go. It's a shirt. Probably could have gotten away with medium cuffs. But that just means I could sew my cuffs together and it would be fine. Roughly pirate shirt. Just needs a hem and then buttonhole situation. But I have relieved myself of worry from the buttonhole button situation. Now to the dress. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to get our handy dandy little gauge. We're going to fold this up 1/4 inch. Nonsense and I have been contemplating doing some steampunk outfits. There's a steampunk fair in Missouri. It's on the other side of the state. Now we're just gonna do that again at 3/8. Having an event specifically to make a costume for gives me a deadline, and I feel like I work better with deadlines. She says, you know what, I'm gonna do this at 1/2 inch. Just because I want to. I do better when I have a deadline, says the chick who completely missed her deadline. To be fair, there was a lot of stuff going on, and we didn't know we were actually going to go to this until I had already planned a lot of other stuff before it. I'm not going to use my son as an excuse, but I'm trying to be the cool mom. Not in like the I let him do whatever I want, but like he's an artist and I want him and his artsy friends to see my house as a creative bastion where they can come and do art jams and stuff. And so we had kids over for a full weekend, and that it's not as hands-off as I thought it was going to be.
I like to do this. This is fun. This is fun and I like to do it. I chose to do this all the time because I like it and it is fun.
I got the sleeves elasticized and then I took a little break to have a tiny bite to eat. I'm gonna set the vinyl up to cut the little YouTube symbols out now. So I need a 6x5. I always cut a little bit extra. I fear not having the right amount of vinyl since my mats aren't super great. Just gonna do a little bit of tape around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. The next step is quite fun. So much fun. Get to weed all the little triangles. It's times like these that I'm really happy I have a pin pen. This isn't going to take too long. Longer will be removing all the tiny little triangles from my skin. Was I not recording this whole time? It is what it is, I suppose. I just need you to know how difficult it is to be doing one artsy thing and doing another artsy thing at the exact same time. So if you wonder why there aren't more creators filming the stuff that they create, it's because it's hard. I have a little red triangle disease all over my hand. Looking to try and see where the cuts are. Need just the right amount of glare. And at some point I'll have to cut and weed the channel name as well. But we'll think about that later. Sometimes it helps to do a little yanky yank. Gotta keep them separated. Usually when I peel back at 90 degrees, it cuts. Like it separates cleanly. Should have did the outside cuts with the auto blade. All right, 3 more rows. I can do this. It's taking a lot longer than I thought it was gonna, but it'll be worth it. We just need to save as many of these last ones as we can. Shoot, doesn't matter if they're in a perfect little line. An almost perfect sheet of tiny little YouTube stickers. I apologize for the noise. I'm just letting my cutter cut while I put this zipper in. So, most important things for an invisible zipper, the instructions tell you to press it flat. You should press it flat. I know it doesn't seem like it does anything, but it is way easier to not sew too close to the zipper teeth if you press the zipper flat. Careful not to melt your zipper. But this zipper edge, we want to roll it open. Next, I take my garment, right side out. Make sure my waistband is pressed. I always get confused. So the best way to not get confused, zip your zipper up, pretend like it's where it's supposed to be, and then flip it over. And this is the first side that we want to sew. Positioning is important. Okay, we do have a 5/8 inch. And I'm going to line the top of the little plastic bit up with the bottom of the line. And then I sew this with an invisible zipper foot. Looks like this. It's got the two little groovy things. That's to hold the zipper. Your stitch is going to be the center of your machine. It's not going to be a zigzag. It's not going to be off to the left. It's not going to be off to the right. It's going to go through this little hole in the center. Needle in the center. You're going to want the zipper coil to go into the hole that puts the needle right next to it. We're going to fight with the dress. The only part that needs to be clean is this part right here. Remember, slow is pro. And then I just get as close to the zipper as possible. And then backstitch. And then find that I've gotten too close to the zipper. This is why we don't rush, guys. Is there a lot of zipping and unzipping in the way that I do it? Yes. Is that okay? Yes. So then we're going to put this in the other side. Do a little stitcher-mooney. Watch it be too close again. Aha, it wasn't. All right, now that we have ascertained that this zips, now we have to do the back seam. For that, we turn the dress inside out. We take the invisible zipper foot off, put the zipper foot on the regular zipper foot. With this foot, we have to adjust our needle position one side or the other. I'm going to give about an inch or so before the end of the zipper. Line all the things up. And the rest of it, I like to put my normal foot back on. Now we'll begin at the dot, a little bit before the dot, and then I will do my 5/8. I like this foot because this line right here on my machine is 5/8 when the needle is all the way in the left position. Are we sewing? Okay, we're sewing. Sometimes it pays to check because like sometimes the bobbin will just think you're so happy and it doesn't want to tell you that it's out of thread because you just look so happy sewing. Now I'm going to run this through the serger. And everything will be good.
I'm feeling jaded in the worst way, pretending that I got my life on straight here. You hear me cursing at the highway, I hear you chiming in your own way. Yeah, own way. Playtime has to meet real life here behind brake lights. Maybe we hang tight. We could live a better life. We talk about it every night. You could buy a yellow bike, spend on it all the time. You can wear the dress you like. You don't have to compromise. We could have it all. I'll race you down, Kenneth, I'm blessed with my feet up, my feet up, my feet up. I guess I'm gonna tend to my feelings. I left them on red. I stopped healing. Yes, I know. We can live a better life. We talk about it every night. You could buy a yellow bike, spend on it all the time. You can wear the dress you like. You don't have to compromise.
Crash on US 169 south past the East 106th Street North exit that is causing a delay.
Do you want the shorter route?
Sure. Via US 69 south.
Babies.
Where? I see them. Got it. I rescued it. Please forgive me for not having got any footage at the Texas Renaissance Festival, but I didn't get any footage at the Texas Renaissance Festival because I was too busy filming other things, not myself. So here's some reveal footage, not at Texas Renaissance Festival. But the thing is, I did not make this dress to wear it with modern undergarments. So I'm gonna put the stays on that I made this to wear with, and then we'll reveal again.
It's too hot for Twitch, too hot for YouTube.
Okay, am I covering the microphones? Just one little strand of hair that has escaped. Alright, we are out of time to film reveal footage, so I hope I got some good footage. Oh, the wind's so nice! That's what I live for. That right there. That fall breeze, even though it's an unseasonably warm day. Alright, pick my way over the rock bridge of the stream that is dry currently, thank goodness. Thanks for hanging out with me and being patient with me. This is a learning process, and I like to think that I'm learning. Time to debrief. If I had planned better, I would actually be wearing one of the outfits, but I wore my dress the other day and now it's in the laundry, and I have recently washed the pirate shirt and not pressed it. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Number one, I would not speedrun both of these projects again together in the space of a week ever again. One of them maybe, but both of them was a little much and required some corner cutting, and of course things that I was not willing to cut corners on. My heater just turned on. I hope that doesn't bother you. If it does, I'm sorry, but if my body gets too cold, then I have excruciating pain all throughout my body, so my heater is set to a comfortable and sensible 74 degrees. If that bothers you, you're gonna have to leave. I'm so sorry. So anyway, let's review these patterns. Let us start with the dress. The dress was made off of Broderick pattern 6705, which I elongated to be ankle length on myself, which was not a hard change to make. I just lengthened it 14 inches at the bottom. I don't know that I'm super fond of the elasticated wrist. It does tend to creep up my arm, so it gives me more of like a 3/4 sleeve rather than a full bishop sleeve, which I guess I could just add a little length onto the sleeve and then it would be full bishop sleeve, or add a cuff. I could do that too. The cuff being elasticized is supposed to be easy. If you don't sew that channel big enough, it's not that easy to get it in. So just keep that in mind if you're going to make this pattern. Also, the front is really fiddly. Where the pattern tells you to sew the front together and then sew the pointed skirt on, making sure to pivot, I was not fond. It was really hard to get the fabric to do what I wanted it to do without like basting it, which probably should do. So the second time I made it, I did leave the front open and then just hand sew that as far up as I wanted it to be after the fact. I don't like the binding instructions for the neck. I don't like the way it lays when you bind it the way that the pattern tells you to bind it. I suppose if someone is less blessed in the area of the upper torso, that gathering up at the neck wouldn't pull so much. But because I am shapely in the manner that I am shapely, pulling that binding so tight with the length of the pattern piece that the pattern gives you does make everything just like pull weirdly. So I just used some bias tape and then bound the top off with that, and it looks and feels much better. And I get a little flappy motion, whereas before on the mock-up it's very tight to the neck. And that was really the only changes that I made to the pattern. The pattern overall, aside from that front fiddly bit, is pretty easy. I would recommend this not to a beginner. This is a great project. I don't know that this is the project to teach you how to deal with fiddly bits, though. If you are going to make this and you've never dealt with like fiddly bits, please be prepared to be patient with yourself and with the project and read the instructions a number of times. Possibly be prepared to baste, which I didn't do. If you've never dealt with super fiddly bits and you want to do this pattern, definitely do a mock-up. Pay close attention to the front point where the bodice meets the skirt. That's going to be your danger zone. I would give this pattern 8.5 out of 10. It would be 9.5 out of 10 if it came with a maxi length option, but I guess it's not that hard to add lengths to it. And the dress has made its way into my like daily rotation of things that I wear. I wore it this weekend and I love it. It's super comfortable. I feel gorgeous in it. I get compliments on it every time I go out, especially when I wear it with these particular stays, which these, I don't know if you can tell, but they are laced fully up the front and fully up the back. And so it is time for me to make a new pair. And I'm probably going to make a video about that. Let me know if you want to learn how to make your own stays like this. Now, the pirate shirt was done with McCall's 8131. The language of the McCall's pattern is not super intuitive for somebody who's never sewn, maybe never made their first button front placket before. There's a lot of little bits that are kind of sort of fiddly, especially if you do the front flounce. I have not worked with flounces in quite some time, years, and I completely forgot how unstable the edge is, the outer edge, because it's all completely on different wonky bias. So just keep that in mind. If you've never worked with bias hemming and you've never made a placket before and you've never put a collar on a shirt, take it slow. Read the instructions 3, maybe 6 times. Take it slow. If you have problems telling your left from right, mark out what side is what on your fabric, because not a big deal for me because I am a chick and our buttons are often on the opposite side from a man's shirt, but my right front became my left front and my left front became my right front. This shirt really does in linen need to be pressed after it is laundered, especially that front flounce. It becomes rather limp until it is pressed. Otherwise, it has fared going through the wash a few times now, and it's doing just fine. It's very comfortable. It breathes wonderfully. I'm very pleased with this shirt, and I will probably wear it and style it with more than just the pirate outfit. I also think that I would like to make a more historically accurate version of this shirt, one that does not have the full button-down placket, but instead is more like a night shirt with the historical closures. I wouldn't say this is as easy as doing a historically accurate shirt, but it gets the job done, and it has a little more shaping for those of us that are a little endowed, a little blessed. The shaping of the arm side, I do think, helped to shape the shirt on my body a little better, because I am not a willowy beanpole romantic heroine. I have been blessed by Thor, and I do have a little bit of that Rubenesque shape to me. Not every type of clothing is going to look good on me, but this shirt sure did, in my opinion. I am extremely happy with it. I will say that making my own clothing has been extremely rewarding. I get the silhouettes that I want in the fabrics that I want with the fit that I want. I feel good. I feel like I look good. I get compliments, and then when I tell people that I've made it myself, they're blown away, and then they are further blown away when I go, and it has pockets! I know that I'm not supposed to be living for outside affirmations and the compliments that other people give me, but damn if it doesn't feel good. I did grade my sleeves to be upsized. I think I did a medium for the shirt, and then I did a large cuff. I think that's what I did. Whatever size I made the shirt, I made the cuff and graded the lower portion of the sleeve to be one size larger because I was concerned about it fitting around my wrist for some reason, which makes no sense because with it buttoned, I can pull my hand in and out, and I don't know why I was concerned at all, but I had that concern, and it was probably due to the stress of not really having enough time and wanting to make sure that I got it right the first time because I didn't have time to remake it. I did try the paper pattern around my wrist, and I guess I did it upside down or something, or used the wrong size around my wrist because it looked too small when I did a paper fitting with it. I'll give it an 8. Because of the flounces. 9 without the flounces, but it looks so good with the flounces. Honestly, it looks really good with the flounces. That's my pattern review. If you like sewing, I definitely would do these. If you're a beginner, I would just make sure to be emotionally prepared for the journey that you're going to go on, because you're going to go on a journey with these. And the more aware you are of the journey, the less frustrating that journey is likely to be. Thank you for being here. Thank you for every second of your attention. I am so appreciative. We are here on this journey to craft a life worth living, and I am grateful that you are taking this journey with me. The holiday season is coming up, so the next thing on the list is gift guides for the specific kind of nerd in your life. I know many of you are those nerds, so if you have family members who like to do last-minute shopping, you can send them the videos that I make that aim toward your specific type of nerdery. I promise I won't have them get you anything too kitschy. Please make sure that you are drinking some water in addition to your coffee or energy drink of choice. Please make sure that you eat something that nourishes your body and then also something that nourishes your soul. Do something fun this week, please, and let me know what it is that you're doing. What are you doing for fun? Tell me the best thing that you ate this week. I cannot wait to have cinnamon rolls. I'm having cinnamon rolls in a couple of days. What are you looking forward to this holiday season? What are you hoping people get you for the holidays? What are you looking forward to having as a holiday treat? I cannot wait for some eggnog. Let me tell you how much I love me some eggnog. I do like to cut it half and half with milk, so technically it's milk nog, but I loves it. It's my once a year treat that we can only have during this holiday time. And although I aim to be spooky all year round, boy, I do love me some holiday lights and a little bit of that holiday cheer. So please let me know what kind of cheer you want. What kind of clothes are you wanting to make for yourself? You've never made clothes for yourself? Do you want to start? Tell me about where you are in your sewing journey. Tell me if there is something specific that you want to see me make. Please. Thank you. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Please do your best to take care of my friend, and I promise I will do my very level best to take care of yours. Oh my god, okay, whatever. Whatever, I'm done trying to make things work. I'll deal. Someday this will focus on me. I'll fix it in post.